afternoon, everyone. Merry Vlogmas. I hope you guys are really enjoying the series so far. I know the festive season can mean a lot for a bunch of different people, so sometimes it isn't always a joyous occasion, but I personally really love this time of year and I really love giving gifts, but it is also fun to receive gifts if there are particular things you've really had your eye on and maybe you either don't have the budget for it or it's just something that you never kind of go out and purchase yourself. So I do think it is fun throughout the year to kind of keep a little note in my phone, and I always just write down things that I'm kind of wanting for my home or like tech things, and thought it would be a cute idea if we could share all of our wish lists with each other. So please leave me your Christmas wish list in the comments down below. I would love to see what you guys are hoping to receive this Christmas or little things that you might be wanting as gifts, and I'm going to share mine with you because these might be things that I end up purchasing myself as little presents, or it might be things that my parents or my partner or something might want to get me instead. So it's really useful to have ideas because some people are terribly hard to buy for. So hope this gives you some ideas for your own personal list, but I'm going to get started on mine. And a few of the first things I want are tech items because I have recently gone through a little bit of an upgrade in my home and in the way that I'm using like my old computer and things like that. So one of the things that I really want is to swap out my monitor stand. So this is a really inexpensive one. My monitor stand was like $25 from Officeworks, but I would really love to get a white one. So I'll probably buy this for myself because it's such an inexpensive little item and I want it to look right for my home. So I'm thinking that I will do that. And because of that, something else that I kind of wanted upgraded, which might be a fun one for my parents to get me because my dad works in IT, so he's very, very knowledgeable in all of this kind of stuff. And I was hoping to replace my old monitor, which I have had for literally 10 years, with a new one that is white. So I know that like when the monitor's off, the actual screen will always be black. So fair enough, that is what it is. But I'd really love to swap that one out because it's a black monitor stand and a black like outline of the monitor, and I just think it would really suit the aesthetic of my home a little bit more if I could upgrade to not only a bigger one because of the type of work that I do, but also to a white one. So I'm going to keep my eyes peeled and see if I can find a nice one. I have seen a couple around the $200 mark, so yet again not terribly expensive. Of course you do want it to be really crisp and have good graphics, so I might end up spending a little bit more, but it was just an idea that I had for something that I need, and I really have had that one for a terribly long time now, so I can recycle it and pass it on to somebody and get myself a new one. The other thing that I would love in terms of tech, now that I have a laptop, which is very exciting, is a laptop stand, and I've seen a bunch of these around. So if you have one and you happen to know a good brand, or you could recommend to me where you got it from, I would love for you to comment and let me know because I haven't had a laptop for a very long time and it would be really handy to find out where to get one of these little devices. And of course it will be in white to suit the neutral aesthetic of my. Another thing I would love to finally upgrade, so fingers crossed I might be able to get this with some Christmas money or somebody might think of that for me, but is the Smeg kettle and toaster. So my kettle and toaster at the moment are literally just from Kmart. They were probably like $20 each, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. I am definitely all about saving money wherever I can and not really buying excessive things because I guess we do have this quite large culture of consumerism, and a lot of the time people are purchasing things above their means and, you know, just wasting things by buying something and throwing it out a year later because the associated like value of it kind of leads you to believe that it's a bit shit. So sometimes you just think, well, I've had the toaster for a year, I'll chuck it and get a new one. But I've had those for quite a while now, actually. I've even had to super glue the handle back on the kettle because it was kind of falling off. So I have put up with that for a little bit, but I thought I would just leave it because I do love the aesthetic of the Smeg ones, and I'm not quite sure what color I would go because I kind of like the black, but I also like the cream. But then I just think, is the cream going to be a little bit weird because mine right now are white and I do really like that. So kind of a little bit undecided on that at the moment, but if you have either of those and you can let me know if they're any good or if they're worth the money or a total waste of money, I would also love to know. Another thing that I would love for my kitchen would be a coffee machine. So I feel like every time I watch someone else's vlog, they always start off by like making themselves a coffee in this really cute little coffee machine. So definitely nothing overboard or, you know, too large or anything, because my apartment is quite small, but fingers crossed I'll be moving to a bigger space soon as well. But it would be really nice to have that instead of using kind of like instant coffee or like microdose coffee, like the Jarvie stuff that I use. I would really just love to have a proper little coffee machine that I can make myself a nice cup of coffee in the morning before I go to work or whatever, just to kind of save me from contributing to that takeaway coffee cup culture, and also just to save a little bit of money. So that would be something really lovely too. Another thing I've recently been using, and it was something that I bought a whole box of sample sizes, because I would much prefer to do that when it comes to skincare than kind of overcommitting to really large bottles of products that might not gel well with my skin, because I've definitely noticed that it really doesn't matter if skincare products are expensive. Sometimes they are just not right for your skin at all and can really lead to breakouts or problems. So that's something that I wanted to avoid. So I've been using the Sunday Riley skincare range, and it's definitely not the cheapest in the world, but I do think that I'm kind of at that point now where I'm in my 30s. I want to be using really good quality skincare, and I have actually seen really good results from it. So I want to get their entire morning range, and I think there's about 5 products. So you just sort of apply them all, and I've just found it's leaving me really glowy, really hydrated, and is helping to kind of lift a little bit of the scarring that I've got from some old breakouts and things. So very, very handy. Love those products, and I would love to get the full-size bottles of them. Something that would more be a joint kind of thing that I would just like to book. It's not necessarily a gift, but I would love for me and my partner to go to Byron Bay. So if you don't know, I was born in Sydney, but I moved to the Gold Coast with my family, and now I live in Melbourne. So my parents are on the Gold Coast, and I often am back up there visiting them and things as well. So if you're a Gold Coaster, say hello if you see me walking around there around Christmas time. But I am thinking of going a little bit later this year, so not quite sure when. I just didn't really want to book the Christmas flights because they're very, very expensive, and I kind of hate going home at that time because the crowds and everything are just too much. But I'm thinking maybe a little bit later, and then I can add on a trip to Byron with my partner because he's never been. So that's something that I would like to discuss with him, and we could maybe spend a week there and just chill out, because we do both have a couple of mutual friends there, and I just think it's such a beautiful little part of the world. And it is, though it is getting, you know, very busy, it's still really relaxing, and it has some of the most beautiful beaches. Another thing I absolutely love giving and also receiving is candles, and whether those be sculptural candles, I can recommend a beautiful small business here in Melbourne called Luce's Candles that I did a collaboration with. You guys might remember from when I did the little Travertine DIY project that I used a bunch of their candles. But I also really love beautiful scented candles as well that I can actually use and burn around my home, because I find when I get those sculptural ones, I just want to leave them on my shelf and I don't necessarily end up using them. So I am always a lover of receiving good quality candles, and I feel like this comes with age, because in my 20s, if you'd given me a candle, I probably would have been kind of annoyed and thought that it was one of those generic gifts, but I absolutely love them now. Now, the benefits of having some family members who live overseas means I can get my hands on a couple of things that we can't get here, and my older sister lives in San Francisco, and they have this store over there called Trader Joe's. You guys may have heard of that, but I really want their everything but the bagel seasoning and a couple of little things from there, and maybe also their little bags and stuff as well. I just think they look so cute, and if you were to buy that stuff on Amazon here, it's like $40, but in the actual store it's like $3. So I've asked my sister to box up a little bunch of things for me, and pray for me that customs doesn't take them, because sometimes when she sends me things, they are ruthless and they will just open them, tear them to shreds, and I won't get half of the items. So if you work in customs, please leave my everything but the bagel seasoning. Something else I love to get before the new year starts is always a good planner. So I have seen the Steph Pace planners. She is another YouTuber on here, and hers are really beautiful and really great actually in terms of the layouts and the information that's in them. So I might consider that as my kind of diary / planner for 2022. And also I always love a good wall calendar. So I definitely think this is something someone who knows me a little bit better would have to get, so that they kind of know my style or the way that I like those kind of things laid out. But it's something I always love to get my hands on. And the last thing is a gift that is not for me, but is for other people. And I would really encourage any of you who have the means to do so to consider donating something this Christmas. So you might notice if you live in Australia that like Kmart or Woolworths and things usually put a wishing tree out the front of the store where you can donate food and things to those in need. You can also even do a wardrobe clean out and donate some of your clothes to your local charity, which means they're able to obviously sell them, make an income and make a bit of a difference. You might want to donate your time to like a soup kitchen or something, or you might just physically want to donate some money if you're someone who is a little bit short on time and, like I said, you have the means to do so. And I think it is always such a beautiful thing to give back at this time of year, because not everyone is as fortunate as us, and I really do think it is good to bring awareness to that and just understand that Christmas, like I said, can mean a different thing for some people, and it isn't always a positive time of year. So it is really, really nice to make a little bit of a social impact and remember that it's a great time to give, receive, and spread some love. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.